Bonjour French learners, Devy here from French Speak. In this video, I'm going to show you 6 typical celebrations from Provence that you just can't miss. So if you're planning a trip to Provence, watch this video so you can learn things to do and see while you're there. So if you happen to be in the area, please check out in early August the Fete du Jessamine. It's a traditional festival and it marks the start of the jasmine harvest. It's one of the flowers that is still grown in Grasse. And if you don't know about Grasse, it's about half an hour inland from Nice. And it's the perfume capital of the world. So well worth checking out. The program features some fireworks and there's events through the city. And on the Saturday night, there's a beautiful flower parade down the main area. So definitely check that out. It's in early August. The next festival to check out is Fete de la Lavande, and it's mid-August in Sceaux, in the town of Sceaux. So that's where all the lavender fields and all those beautiful pictures of Provence usually are taken from. So do check that out, and you'll just come back smelling beautifully. Sorry, I forgot to say that one is mid-August. Then we've got a Fête des Vins in Bandol in December. And that's a very popular wine festival that's worth checking out. And they feature predominantly wines from the south of France, from Provence. The next tradition I want to share with you is December time. So our bûche de Noël, which is the Christmas cake, the French style Christmas cake. We call it bûche de Noël. And it's essentially a tree log is the name we gave it. It's usually quite round, and more modern versions like the photos I'm sharing with you are more rectangular, but it's traditionally a cake, a sponge cake in a circle or an ice cream one. And it's all decorated on top like a very beautiful log. So this is, if you're in Provence in December, please make sure you sample one. You'll get them at the boulangerie, at the bakery, or supermarché, in the supermarket. Then there's a tradition that it has existed for a long, long time in Provence, and it's called the 13 Christmas desserts. So the 13 desserts are eaten after the meal, after the midnight mass, and they look like this. So you often can pick up some baskets with all the different types of desserts. And there's always 13, but the variety changes from one house to the other as they follow the traditions and tastes of the family. So we leave them on the table for the next 3 days, is the custom. And therefore they stay there till the 27th of December. So I'm going to share with you a few items that are part of the 13 desserts. First of all, we have les 4 mendiants. Les 4 mendiants represent 4 religious orders in France. So the dry figs, the Franciscans, les figues sèches, the almonds or amandes, les carmélites, les raisins, les raisins secs in French, Dominicans, and hazelnuts, so your noisette in French, Augustinians. They're the 4 mendiants, so they'll usually feature in there. Then we have dates. In French, it's just called date, and that's a symbol that the Christ came from the East. So they've carried that across and added dates into les 13 desserts. Then we always have nougat blanc and nougat noir, to represent the purity and the goodness. The harder and brittle black nougat symbolizes the impurity and the forces of evil, whereas the white one is the purity and goodness. Then there's usually a fougasse. Fougasse is this beautiful flat loaf that you can find in Provence. It's made with lots of olive oil. Sometimes it's called la pompe à l'huile d'olive, but in my home we call it la fougasse à l'huile d'olive, and it can come stuffed with lots of different things. So throughout the year you can still go to a bakery and find a fougasse. So if you plan on doing a picnic while you're in Provence, please make sure you sample one of those. There's lots of varieties. You can get fougasse au lardon, which has bacon pieces on top. You can have fougasse au fromage. You can have fougasse nature, which will just be olive oil and olives in it, and fougasse au roquefort, which will have some blue cheese in it. It's quite delicious. So make sure you try that. Another thing that'll be part of les 13 desserts is the Quince paste, or sometimes it'll be crystallized fruits. Depends again on people's choices and preferences and taste. Bit too fast. I've also wanted to share with you, sometimes you'll find oreillettes in there. Oreillettes are these light, thin fried pastries, and they'll also include some fresh fruits, some mandarins, some oranges, some pears, grapes, and watermelon can be featured in the 13 desserts. And finally, the sixth tradition I want to share with you is midnight mass. Again, another thing that we do in Provence coincides with December. So there's a few in here that happen in December. And what happens is that the mass will include a living crib. So the characters of the crib will be of the Holy Family, and the three wise kings and the shepherds will be represented by villagers, people who live there. And sometimes we've got a special midnight mass, messe de minuit, that includes a pastrage. And a pastrage means that there'll usually be a newborn lamb that's wheeled in or carted in into the mass as a symbol of an offering. No harm is done to the animal, but it's just to add to the live version of the crib. So if you're in France, in the south of France, especially around that time of the year, I hope you get to sample the midnight mass. It's worth taking a look. One of the most popular one is in Saint-Rémy de Provence, where they do that pastrage with the lamb. Voilà, mes amis. That's all from me today. Those are some of the typical Provence celebrations I wanted to share with you. And if you like this video, please subscribe if you're on the YouTube French Speak channel. Otherwise, check us out on Facebook. We're on the French Speak. So you can just type www.fb.me/French Speak and you'll find lots more videos like this one. Allez, au revoir. Merci.